It's already okay. Yeah. Shubham, I'm in the third year of 3-year LLB honors here in NLS. Previously, I did my BCom honors from Shahid Bhagat Singh College, Delhi University, and I mostly take classes on Part B. So we'll start now. Part B, as I mentioned before, also that is related legal writing. Mostly the part that six question you will get from the legal writing, and the other one will get you from the essay writing. So mostly I'll take with the legal writing how to approach. In the previous classes I discussed like what's the part of the legal, like how you approach the legal writing, what should be your ideal answer. So I joined lead in that class. Okay, no issues, Dalia. I'll give you a brief background what we did previously and what we do now. So we'll have some sense like what we're going to do. Okay, so as I was saying, like a legal part B question that is related to, they will give you a legal problem, but you don't have to apply a real law. It's the existing law. You just have to apply the legal application. That is the main thing. Legal application is different from applying your law that is already there. So be mindful of that. What's the difference between legal application and what's the law? You don't need to use the law. That is the section that we used to call like in if something comes from murder, so you don't have to use that section 300 of IPC, and now it has been changed to some 100 section 100 and all to DMS. So now, as I was saying, so now think of this like this way: case, a legal case always has four components. That is, first one will be your facts. The facts will be what? The facts that is given in the question. The question will be your facts. So you don't have to write the facts in your legal answer. Now we'll come to the second part. That is the issue, like issue. You have to identify the issue. What's the main contention? What is like what is been going on in the case? Why the two parties are before the court? What's the problem? So that is your issue. You have to identify it. And the second one, the third one, as I was talking about the argument, you have to write the arguments in some of the question that we did previously, where you have to write arguments on behalf of both the parties. In some of the question we did, like you have to frame argument on one of the side. And yeah, so and last previously I remember we did something that is the legal principle. The rule is there. You have to apply the principle. The rule is there. That is uh, just a second. It's yeah. Just keep share. Can you just keep adding someone because just admit it if others are coming because it's been disturbing. So okay, as I was saying, so the rule is there. You have a fact has been given to you. Now you have to apply the facts. That is the rule in your facts. In that case, we discussed where earlier one there is no right or wrong answer. You can choose either party. Now in some of the cases, what happened is that uh, in that case, that is the legal rule principle case, you have to apply the rule. That will, in that case, there will be an answer. That there will be a right or wrong answer. Okay, so be mindful of that. We just, as we discussed, something related to the Contract Act. What is the tort related to the tort thing and all. So yeah, you have to apply the rule. Always the rule will have some components. So you have to identify the components of the rule. What is the main component of that rule? So identified in the previous class we discovered that in that rule we had three components. Now while applying that three components, we have to identify whether all those components are meeting in the given types or not. That is the case that we discuss. Now again, those are the rarest of the question that NLSAT they will give you here in the NLSAT. That is most unlikely that they will go, but in some chances, except in exceptional cases, what if they give you? So that is the other thing. Now we'll go back to the, the normal questions that they used to go that they used to provide you. That is the legal question that they will ask you. There will be some facts you have to argue on either on the both side or you have to decide the case. So before sharing the question, if you have any doubts related to the previous question that we did in the last class or anything in general related to part D, that is the legal writing answer. Go ahead if you have any doubt. Any doubt related to the previous one, sir? In ARAC method, what we have to mention in rule. See, Vishwas, we did some of the questions. Sir, components are the parts of the question. No, no. See, what is there in IRAC matter that it issues rules, arguments, and conclusion. You don't have to put the rules. Some of the question that we did in the previous class, where there is specifically mentioned that this is the rule. Let's assume that contract act are agreements plus enforceable by law will be contract. So that is the rule. That is rule is given to you. That is there should be an argument. There should be a it should be enforceable by law. That is the two components is there. So you have to identify the components. Components. So coming back to the Rahul question also. So components are the parts of the question. No, that that will be the part of the rule that is specifically mentioned to you in normal questions that they provide you. There is nothing such rules and rules or principle is there. There is nothing such thing like that. So don't worry about that. Today we'll do the normal question that they used to give, the the old question, the old format that they used to for if they used to follow. Rishabh, can I start from now for any? Yeah, yeah, you sure you can start for now anytime. Like I did before, like 2 months for the prepress because the first time it came for us. So it was just 2 months before that we got to know about the NLS. That's why you could like still you have the time. It's only August. From tomorrow it will be September. So you have like 3 to 6 months. So yeah, you can start from now. Apart from that, if you have any doubt, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll share a one question with you. Will give you some guidance what should we do in the question and how is it different from the previous one or that we did. So give me a feedback that talk about elements of rules and so yeah, Nihil, that the question. Let me share if you have that question just for your clarification. I have that one with me or others or someone from you if you have that question that we did in the previous class. Can you share here? Yeah, this is the question that we did previously. So look at that. So we were talking about this only. See, so consider the following rules provided below. So there is this rule. The rule has been given. Just a second. The rule has been given to us. That is related to tort of deceit. So this is the thing. That a person who knowingly makes a false statement or conceals material fact. Can you unmute? This? Yeah, fine. So a person who knowingly makes a false statement or conceals a material fact causing harm to another party will be liable for damage. So now the facts there. See, this is the facts. This is the longer, and this one Amit is the owner of Greenfield or something. That is that. That is that. That is your fact. Now you have to apply this rule. That is a person who knowingly is taught of deceit. So I was talking about these elements. Knowledge is that is there. Then a material fact, concealment of material fact or false statement. This is the second element I was talking about, and causing harm. So these are the elements that we are talking. So now, how will you apply these elements in the facts? So as I was saying, see here, Amit aware of the complaints but eager to close the sale. So awareness will lead to the knowledge of the facts. That means since Amit was aware of the complaints, that means he has the knowledge of the noise pollution that is there. Now, what is the concealment of the fact? Will first element is satisfied. Awareness lead to the knowledge. So this is the first element. Now we'll look at the second element. That is false statement or concealment of material fact. So how will you apply these elements in the facts? That is the question that is in there. So see here. He said, downplays the issue, tells me that the area is peaceful and there have been no significant problems with the noise. So this part, he makes a false statement regarding the noise pollution and the area. What kind of area is that? So that is a false statement or concealment of material fact. Even though he knew that, even though he had the idea that it was not such that, but because of knowing that thing, because of his knowledge, he makes a false statement about the area or about the place. That causes Mira the harm. How causes Mira the harm? See, Mira feels Mira proceeds with the purchase. After moving in, she quickly realizes that the noise from the factory is much worse than Amit had indicated, making it difficult to enjoy her new home. So this is how difficult for her to enjoy the new home. This is how she that because of the in false statement or concealment of the material fact by the Amit causes her harm in the form of what? In the form of not able to enjoy her new home. So this is what I was saying, how to apply it, the elements of a rule in this case or in any related case. So you got the idea, I guess. Nehal was asking, yeah, right. Someone asked, what is component in this? Component? No, no, no. On the component, I was talking about the element of the rules that we discusses three things: the knowledge, material fact, concealment of material facts, or false statement, or the third one causing harm. So these are the component, or you can say that the element of the rule. Like what constitute a rule? What should be the main elements that constitute a? So here, three things we discussed: knowledge, concealment of material facts, and the third one is that should causes harm. Yes. So firstly, we should mention the elements. Yeah, you have to mention the elements. While mentioning the elements, try also connecting with the facts or with the case that is there, or with the question. This is how you will take it. Others, if you have, so will I'll give you the other one. We'll go back to the other question. That is, yeah, I have to share the screen for this. Yeah. So for today, we are discussing. Is this visible for everyone? Just get me, tell me, is it visible to you all or not? Yeah, for everyone. Aditi has Sanvi had said that yes. I don't know. Yes, chalo, okay, fine, great. So yeah, this is the question. Now, before uh, approaching this question, I'll tell you what's the difference in this question that you are going to see and what you have done previously. So see, look at the last part of this question, what the question has asked, that is in the bold letter. As I mentioned it, as the arbitrator in this case, decide in whose favor you will rule and why. See, the arbitrator, the word arbitrator, I use that, not the judge in this case, because arbitrator, see, arbitration is one of the form of civil mediation. That is like, you can say that the dispute arises between two parties. Let's assume that Aditi and Sanvi. So if the dispute arises between Aditi and Sanvi, they don't want to go to the court. They want private parties to solve their dispute. Can you please share it? Sorry, sorry. So share it with a WhatsApp group also. It will be easier for you. Yes, great. Send it. So the thing is, before they don't want to go to the court. As I was mentioning, Aditi and Sanvi had some dispute related to anything, related to land or something. Or let's assume they had dispute related to, yeah, land only. Okay. They don't want to go to the court. Now what they will do, they will hire a third party. Let's assume they hire a Nehal in this case. So now Nehal will act as an arbitrator. Arbitrator, that means that she will try to negotiate between these two parties, that is Aditi and Sanvi. So now, since the what purpose of arbitrator is that the court rule are binding, always binding. If court said something, that's why it's also lengthy process. Arbitrator, like you trust on someone, like in this case, let's assume you Aditi and Sanvi has trusted on Nehal, who doesn't have who doesn't have any conflict of interest in between. She doesn't know Aditi or Sanvi personally. She doesn't have any interest. with Aditi or either with Sanvi. So now they hired, yeah, true, Modi and Russia. Okay, yeah. So this is the now they have arbitrator. So always assume the arbitrator will always there in the civil cases. Will not go into civil and criminal cases differentiation. So let's assume now you have to put the arguments for in earlier we used to do for or against. Now here will do you will put the argument only for. So that means let's assume here two party, Rohan and the other one, the administrator, that is the lexicon partners, that is there, Rohan and lexicon partners is these are the two parties. What we used to do previously, we used to write arguments on behalf of Rohan or arguments on behalf against Rohan or arguments on so this is the same meaning, but in arbitration it's different. You have to put like arbitrator can't be like a judge. His order cannot be binding and all, but he tries to mediate between the two parties, that is the Rohan and the lexicon partners. That's why they used to go with the arbitrator. Now, arbitrator will have to frame the argument. Whatever the arguments you could find out from these facts given, frame the arguments like first frame the issue. What is the main issue? That is the simple. That is that we used did previously also. Frame the issue first, then write arguments for Rohan, then write arguments for lexicon partners. Okay. And then you have to decide why do you think you should choose the other part, like one party. If you are assuming, like if you think Rohan is correct in this question, you have to give the reason. So this is a bit lengthier one that we did in the previously, but try to write one or two arguments for uh, either party, that is Rohan and what you say, lexicon partners, then directly come to the conclusion part. Conclusion, what you have to do, you have to write the conclusion. You said that Rohan should be or lexicon partner should not be liable or should not bear the cost of the car in this case. So now you have to give a little bit descriptive answer that is based on the arguments that we have framed, but also the other facts that is there. So your argument in this case are shorter than the conclusion. Earlier, what we used to do, your argument was used to be a bit what you can expanded version than the conclusion. Conclusion somewhere around 3 to 4 lines maximum. Now in this case, arguments will be somewhere around two arguments from each party directly come to the conclusion. I want answers in the conclusion. I want a proper reasoning why you are choosing either party. What's your reason? So I'll give you it's 6:26. We'll meet 6:45. You have 20 minutes, somewhere around 20 minutes. Try frame. Don't focus much on the argument thing. Just write whatever arguments you can write on behalf, but focus more on the conclusion part because this is the what arbitrator has to do, and the arbitrator is giving the verdict in this case. His reason or his or her reason should be like proper concrete. Judges can say anything. If you are the judge, you can say that, in my opinion, I think one party should get the compensation. They will not provide you that much reason because they are not binding. They are not like there's no one can challenge their decision. Even though the party can challenge in the higher court, but in that court they can't challenge it. Once the judgment is passed, that is there. In the arbitration case, it is not there. If the party is not satisfied with the answer, with the uh, reason of the arbitrator, they will further then they will go to the court. So this is the before proceeding as an arbitrator have to balance both party. Yeah, true. That is the you have to be like that's why I was saying no. Your conclusion should not be like too harsh on one party. Your conclusion should be like proper balancing. Why do you think in this case Rohan should win or lexicon partner should win? So you have the conclusion should be concrete that if one party is like the other party has to accept their defeat. Court, that is fine. Court, whatever they say, like you have to accept it. But here, as an arbitrator, you have to like make sure that both the parties should be satisfied with the conclusion. So take your time, send the answers on the group itself in a PDF format. Uh, you know the format, how to start. Start with the issue part. Go with the arguments for Rohan and for lexicon partners. Don't focus much on the arguments right now. Uh, I need concrete conclusion. So yeah, write the reasons perfectly. Yeah, if you are choosing Rohan or Lexicon Partners, you have to give reasons why Rohan should win this case. Why? What is the reason? What's the concrete reason that you are choosing Rohan? So I hope you all understand it. If you have any doubt, ask it now, or we'll meet 6:45. We'll try to see at 6:45, and yeah, send the answers on the group first in a PDF format, so I'll get to read it. No, word limit, somewhere around, no, not the 150 word limit, somewhere around, I'll tell you, not more than 250. I don't want answer anything more than 250. So within 250, anything. Yeah, I guess no one has any doubt. So yeah, please approach this question and we'll meet at 6:45. Okay, sorry again. Now it's fine, I guess. Yes, great. Sorry for the background noise. This is the what you have to deal with when you are in the hostel or in college. So yeah, so that's why I was using this AirPods. So no worries. I'll try to be loud, but the background noise will be there. So yeah, let's go back to the question first. So the question, the facts of this question is completely simple. There is this guy Mehta. So just like me, who is like a fresh graduate. So next year I'll be the fresh graduate now. So yeah, he applied for a job that is the associate position in a top law firm. Let's assume that the firm here is Lexicon Partners. Okay. So there were some written test. He scored really well, 90% in that. Then the company, the partners, the law firm selected five students for the interview based on and based on the performance of their written round, and they called for the final interview. Yeah. So Rohan gave the interview. There he encountered students who were selected after the written test, and he talked to them like how the interview went and all. So one of the candidates said Arav that mentioned that the question was like his performance was not that very well, but Rohan was confident that he will do the interview very well and everything will be fine. And then thereafter the interview for 30 lasted for 30 minutes. He was very uh, happy about his performance in the interview. After the interview, Rohan received an email from the Lexicon Partners. Look at the word here, careful, indicating that I have to send the answers. It's my first class. Yeah, send it on the group. I'll check it once. Right now, since we are running out of time, I have to start. So yeah, you can send it later also. So let me complete this. So yeah, Rohan received an email. What the email talks about that his performance was exceptionally well. Nothing mentioned in the email. It was just indicating that he will get the job. But it's just the email is all about how well he did in the interview, but nothing that they are giving the job to him or they're offering a position to him. So based on that email, what Rohan did, he buy a really expensive car, Audi A6, to celebrate his anticipated success. That is the thing that he thought that he will get the job, he will go to the big law firm and all. So yeah, but later on, after 2 days, he received a mail that he didn't get the job. Now, what happened? Since he has already spent lots of money on the car, he wants to like uh, reimbursement from the company or from the law firm, that since in your previous in your previous email you mentioned that I did well and all, so that means I will get the job and everything. My interview went really well and everything, whatever that is there. He said that. But firm is saying that we can't give you the compensation since we didn't made an implied promise of employment. So look at the word implied promise of promise. So there are two things. Promise. What do you mean by promise? I'll not go into the contract act. There's different meaning in contract act. In general, I'll just discuss you. Promise is like something. Let's assume that promise in general terms. Just understand in promise that is like uh, you swear to do something for someone, or just you said someone, "Ha, I'll do my part." So that is the promise. Wada. In Hindi, you can call it wada. And yeah, so that is the thing. You make a promise with. So what's the meaning of implied promise of employment? Go to the implied promise. So there are two kinds of promises: express and implied. Express means I directly say that I promise I will give good marks to some person. I will give this AirPods to one of the students. I'll give it to Vishal. Let's assume I promise that this I will give it to Vishal. So this is my promise. This is the express. I explicitly said this in this interview with my words. But now, what is the implied one? I said that, yeah, what is the implied form? Implied promise. Let's assume I said that I talk about Vishal, that his answer was really good. And initially, I said that whoever like write the best answer, I will give a prize to one of the student. So that is the one kind of a implied way. I didn't say that I will give this earpods to anyone, but I impliedly I said that I will give it to uh, Vishal. That is the thing. You didn't expressly say that, but your body language or your the mail thing in this case, the mail was in such a way that it was implied that you will get the employment. So this is the thing. Now your argument will go back to the answers. Okay, first one, Nehal. So this is Nehal's answer. We'll look at that how she approached it. After that, I'll give you the feedback on this thing, what you should do. So yeah, the Nehal has identified the issue at hand in is whether Rohan can make Lexicon Partners liable for comments. Okay, issue is fine, perfect. Lexicon Partners did not send an email to just write that stating that they're considering. It is a nowhere mentioned that true. That is this is how this is good. You just in a couple of sentences here you just write it on arguments on behalf of Lexicon Partners. This is good. And the second part, no, this is not required, Nehal. Just I said that no, the crux of the arguments, nothing more. Just said that Lexicon Partners didn't explicitly mention in this case. Okay. Uh, Yeah. So Lexicon Partner didn't expressly mention about didn't make an express promise of employment in this case. They didn't explicitly said to Rohan regarding the employment. That is their argument. That is this. There was no kind of implied form of promise. Rohan assumed by himself that he will get the job from that email thing. But it in the email itself, it was nowhere mentioned. Look at the question. It was look at that, indicating that indicating that he had performed a great skill. He himself assumed that he will get the job, but it was not the case. Okay, so just mention it this only. There is no need to uh, write liable for compensation. This is already written. This is no required. Okay, Lexicon Partners never made it. Just yeah, I also wanted arguments on behalf of Rohan. Also, you could have write that since the mail provided by the Lexicon partner indicated that he did well in the interview process and all everything and all. he thought he will get the job. So they made the implied promise. So that is one argument you could put on from the behalf of Rohan. This is the two things are there. Like what Lexicon or is arguing in this case, write it in two lines. What Rohan is arguing in this case, write it in two lines. Uh, yeah. Rohan is saying that through the email, he got the intuition that the Lexington partners are interested in giving him a position in their law firm through the email, whatever the email that Lexicon partners sent, and it was implied that he is getting the position or he is getting the employment. Lexicon partners can say that the email was just an appreciation of his performance in the interview round. It was nowhere mentioned. No, no, there is no right or wrong answer. You can go in any way, but your conclusion should be strong, Siddharth. You can go in the Rohan's favor also. Uh, yes, Nehal. When you are the judge in this case, not the judge as an arbitrator, you have to like see. You started with the issue, right? You have to put the arguments. What the party is contesting in this case, the party that is the Lexicon partners and the Rohan Mehta. So you have to put your contention in this case, like write it there. What they are asking or what they're saying, what's their point of view. Okay, then you come to the conclusion part. Then we'll look at the conclusion. Lexington Partners never made an indication of his appointment, rather confirmed Rohan's suitability and applauded his performance. This is good. This is perfectly what I wanted. There was no way signed of employment, and again, nor was there any hint of making an implied promise of employment. Good. So any liability Lexicon Partners are okay. Perfect. Now, further, one cannot claim compensation for the expense done under one's interpretation. Yeah, okay, just a second. Or is it changing? Interpretation and pure excitement. Hence, in my considered election partners or not like good. This is how. Just Nehal, do one thing. Just write the arguments on behalf of Rohan also what he was contesting. Otherwise, the answer is good. So this is the like what Nehal has said that look at some of the questions. So in case of arbitration, we have to mention arguments. Yes, this is the main point. Yeah, you are here. You are not the judge. You are not judging someone. You have to put the contention of the board. But contention, I was saying, that means arguments. You have to put the arguments, both the parties. Just not the strong argument. Just put it there. Key what Lexicon Partners is saying. Lexicon Partner in this case was saying that uh, the email that were sent, they were not intended to give the job to Rohan. It was just an appreciation email. They wanted to applaud the efforts or efforts of the Rohan. What he did in the interview round. It was just he they never intended to give the uh, job to Rohan by the email itself. There was no such implied form of promise been made in the email. Rohan can say that since the email was sent in a such a way, the email was written in such a way, framed in such a way that anyone could have implied that they were giving him the employment. So these are the two contention. Now you will write the conclusion part as mentioned by the Nehal. So this is how different from the question where you have to decide as a judge. Now where you have to put argument like you will put you will focus more on the argument part. You will put all the strong arguments from one party, and then in the conclusion you will write that in my considered opinion or in my opinion, this party should win this case or he should get the compensation. Here, our main focus is on the conclusion part. Argument should be there. Argument is of two lines, not more than two lines. One argument it will be there, and yeah. So this is how you write in the question where you are a arbitrator. The question can NLSAT can give you like if you let's assume if you are an arbitrator decide the case. If you have any doubt, ask me now. As many of you have sent the questions on the group, I'll try to check it. It will take some time, but I'll go through all the answers. and I'll try to send it to you. Feedback. I'll give you the feedback also. What is the context of writing an answer? Writing an answer. I didn't understand this context of writing an answer. Like, in what this answer or like in general part B answer you're saying, Komti. You can also unmute yourself and speak if you're comfortable with it. Otherwise, you can put it. Format of answer. As I mentioned, no format of answering. Let's assume like where you are. Uh, the, the the format will be simple. I'll write it also here. The format will be like facts is there. Facts you don't have to write. You will start with the issue. You will identify the issue. You will put the arguments. Then you will come to the conclusion. Now, the difference what in the case of where you are a judge, where you are an arbitrator is that in case of judge, you put focus main on the argument part. In the case of arbitrator, you focus more on the conclusion part. That is the decision part. You focus more on the decision part than the arguments part. Earlier, we were focusing more on the argument parts. Okay, what should be your argument? How could you write it? Here, the argument was simple. What the lexicon is saying that it was clearly mentioned there. It was what the Rohan was saying that it was also mentioned. But you have to write the decision or you have to conclude it. You have to conclude in such a way that both parties should accept the judgment or both parties should accept the award that the arbitrator is giving. So this is the difference. Did I send it to directly? I guess issues. Okay. Arguments. Conclusion. Yeah. Others. Others also. If you have any doubt, please ask related to this question or part B in general. Also, you can just unmute yourself. Also. Okay. Yeah. Arguments on behalf of Aditi, as you may ask. Yeah, yeah, we'll send the Panchu will send the sample questions also. But as I mentioned, the arguments on behalf of Rohan, I said that no, Rohan will argue that the email was framed in such a way. Uh, just a second, yeah. Hmm. The email was framed in such a way that Rohan assumed that he's getting the job. So the email was indicated in such a such like from the Lexicon Partners that he did well, everything and all. They mentioned it that he's getting the job. So he implied that he get the implication that the Lexicon Partners are offering him a position in their law firm. So he focused on the intention or on the or on the context of the email. The email was sent, the format of the email. He will argue more on the argument would be format of the email that it was in such a way that he was getting the job. Starting should be right about the side we want to take. Yeah, you can do that, but here you have to put the argument first. Come to the decision last. Other in others, you can we shall write it directly. Come to the but first identify the issue. It's important to identify the issue that so see the importance in identification of issue is that the examiner will get the will get the sense that you have understood the question well. So that will give you like 2 marks already identifying the issue. So this is important. You can say that in my opinion he should win, but write the arguments. The format will remain the same. You will write the arguments. Then you can in conclusion also you can say that thus he should liable for the punishment or whatever there is. Can we highlight key points like issue, arguments, and conclusion by writing? Just write it. Just write it. Issues, arguments for Rohan, arguments for Lexicon Partners, conclusion. That's also good. In this case, Aditi, in this case, in the case of arbitrator, you have to write one argument or nothing more than because there is no such argument. The argument is already there in the question. You have to decide it. You have to give the decision along with the reasons. That is the format to writing, and there is no such format. Just write what the issue is there. You have to identify the issue. In this case, whether Lexicon Partners will be liable for the uh, expensive car bought by Rohan or not. In the arbitrator case, you have to argue both. It depends on the question also. You can argue from one side, but here you have to argue for both the parties. In this question, you have to argue for both the parties. Previously, we did like you need to focus more on the argument. So your argument should be two or three, at least two or three should be there. Conclusion will be simple. Conclusion will be in two or three lines. It will be the reverse kind of thing, nothing done. Arbitrator, you focus more on the conclusion part, decision part, and normal question where you are a judge, you have to focus on more on the argument part. Dipanshu, as I showed you this the answer. No, I guess you joined late or what? I don't know, but I showed you the answer that you will identify, you will write the issue. In the given case, the issue of this case is such that, or like just write it. The issue in this case is such, and such. That is how you start your answer. Okay, then uh, we'll end the session now. For now, we'll again meet. We'll try to meet again next week. And so, what is the question? Ask us to write for both parties as a judge. Then what to focus on? I told you, no. In relate, if you are as a judge, you are writing as a judge. You have to focus more on the argument parts, not on the conclusion part. You will write like what would be the core argument in that case. So you will focus on the core argument. You will write the persuasive argument, what could be the more persuasive argument. So you will write in that case. In normal case, in arbitrator cases, you will write the decision. You focus more on the conclusion part. That is the difference. That is it. So yeah, we'll end the session now. We'll try to meet next week with another. We'll do the judge question where you are as a judge. So you will get like those who have joined late, they will get the idea what's the difference between the arbitrator where you are arbitrator and you are a judge. So there in that case you will focus more on the argument part rather than conclusion part. So yeah, as you have sent the answer on the group, it's also, so I'll try to check it once, but it will take some time. I'll give you the feedback for sure. Reply to your to the answer. So for now we'll end this. Thank you all for coming, and yeah, we'll meet next week.